Bruckler, Daquan Wright, Lucas finding the blocks to make him open as well. Shout out to those guys, and Trace Bruckler for hauling in his first touchdown of the season. Another great game for the Ole Miss offensive line. They've done fantastic. Georgia, Oklahoma on the road, only 1 sack. You got to give them props. You got to give John Garrison and his group props. They've done a fantastic job. And another, shout out to this wide receiver core. I thought Deshaun Strickland had another really good game. Daquan Wright, obviously, as well. But, Harrison Wallace, Dukes Alexander, Caden Lee, only a few catches from Caden Lee, but they were really big. And shout out Winston Watkins. I think only had 4 catches, but every single one of those 4 catches were huge. Put Ole Miss in great position to do something scoring-wise. So shout out to Winston Watkins on his performance today. The Ole Miss defense, Princewell, Mama Yellen, that's what you've been waiting on if you're an Ole Miss fan. He signed up, he delivered, and that is what you need if you're an Ole Miss fan. To see this defensive front, see these edge rushers, build a little confidence, build a little momentum moving forward. That's what they did. Santarian Perkins was also in that backfield, doing a lot of damage against John Mateer, and even Jamarius Brown, pulling the strings, and Will Uckers helping out on that safety down there for Ole Miss in the defense. I thought the linebackers did it well as well today. They struggled against Georgia, but I think the presence of Andrew Jones is really needed for Ole Miss today. You haven't seen him much this season. You saw him in a few drives last week against Georgia, and he was key in those moments. I mean, he played some big tackles, and he was all over the field today as well. And Kapina Gushigan, I know he got beat early against Isaiah Satangi, but he didn't let that phase him, and he played really well. A much-needed win for Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. A statement win, a resume win to continue building the college football resume that they need to get into the playoffs at the end of the season. They did a fine, dandy job here against Oklahoma. This is an Oklahoma team that John Mateer, before he was injured, was rolling, and, one of the Heisman favorites, the #1 total defense in the country. They were effective in the red zone this season. The Ole Miss defense really stepped up. You have to give Pete Golding and his staff props for turning around what was an abysmal performance against Georgia last weekend. So you have to give the Ole Miss defense props. And I thought Oscar Bird did a really good job with field position, and Lane Kiffin relying on his kicker, Lucas Carnero, this weekend as well. Really huge moments, but think about this. First row ranked win for Ole Miss since last season at South Carolina. But how many of those moments were scary for Ole Miss fans? A lot of those 3rd down calls, a lot of those 4th down calls. Lane Kiffin gets paid the big bucks for a reason. He knew what the task was, the risk was of calling some of those plays, and it didn't work out for some of them. You remember Keywan Lacey, the snap being dropped over his head, or the low snap to Trinidad Chambers, him slipping and falling on 3rd down. Those moments happen, but Ole Miss never let up their edge. They continued to fight even when they, lost the lead. Ole Miss really found a way to win, and that's what you have to do in the SEC. That's what you have to do if you want to be a college football playoff team, and that's what Ole Miss did here today, Norman, Oklahoma. Signing out, Ole Miss 34, Oklahoma 26, in a really, really battle of 2 great teams and 2 SEC football teams that kind of show what SEC football is all about. Ole Miss rolling on 7-1, see what they can do for the rest of the season. Signing out, I'm Dalen Flowers, y'all. Take care.